But let's move on into the last topic here. We go through 21 through 30. We talk about everything. If you're on YouTube, make sure to follow us, twitch.tv/Most-Valued-Podcast, as we are live right now on Twitch, and you can watch things live instead of waiting for YouTube. But let's get this going. 21 through 30. We'll start with Sean. What's your final 10? Your final third of the 2.0.
21, 76ers via the Thunder taking Kira Lewis Jr., guard out of Alabama. 22, I have the Jazz taking Paul Reed, forward out of DePaul. 23, I have the Nuggets via the Rockets taking Isaiah Stewart, forward out of Washington. Then at 24, I have the Heat. I think I already said 24, but I'm just stupid. I don't know how to read. 24, I have the Heat taking Ayo Dosunmu, guard out of Illinois. 25, Thunder via the Nuggets taking Zeke Naji, center out of Arizona. 26, Celtics taking Jamias Ramsey, guard out of Texas Tech. 27, Knicks via the Clippers taking Isaiah Joe, guard out of Arkansas. At 28, Raptors taking Sadiq Bey, forward out of Villanova. 29, Lakers taking Trey Jones, guard out of Duke. And 30, Celtics via the Bucks taking Patrick Williams, forward out of Florida State.
Dave?
Nice. At number 21. Wow, numbers are hard right now.
Yeah,
it's all the way over there, and then I come all the way back for my name. At 21, I've got the 76ers taking Sadiq Bey, forward from Villanova. At 22, I've got the Jazz taking Theo Maledon from France. At 23, I've got the Nuggets taking Luke Garza, center from Iowa.
Iowa.
Did you not know where he went to school?
No,
So,
I literally added in that because of this just feels like a weird pick to say out loud. I'm going to get ripped on it. At number 24, I've got the Heat taking Cassius Winston. At 25, I've got the Thunder via the Nuggets taking Precious Achiuwa. 26, I've got the Celtics also taking Jamias Ramsey. At 27, I've got the Knicks taking Paul Reed. 28, it's the Raptors. It's Devin Dotson. 29, Lakers, Kira Lewis Jr. And at 30, rounding out my first round, the Celtics are going to take another shooting guard, Josh Green.
The one thing that made me laugh is Soapy in the Twitch chat.
Yep.
Angel Garza? That's
Angel
his name?
Garza?
Angel Garza?
Yeah.
WWE Superstar?
Yes.
My 21 through 30. Let's start off 21. The 76ers through the Thunder going Ayo Dosunmu from Illinois. I just want to, although we're not going to talk about it, I want to say it right here. I made this pick because I feel like he could be the Jimmy Butler style player where it's like he can bring that attitude that Jimmy Butler brought to that team. Then the Jazz at 22, Precious Achiuwa, forward from Memphis. The Nuggets via the Rockets going Isaiah Stewart, forward from Washington at 23. 24, Killian Tilly, the forward center, going at 24 to the Heat. 25, Daniel Othuru.
No, there's no H.
See, that's why I keep screwing up.
There's no H.
Oturu. Next week, I'll have the pronunciation spelled out like my last pick. Oturu, center from Minnesota. Well, it's hard for me.
Look at it.
So it's hard for some people.
It's literally phonetic.
Yeah, I look at it and I still fuck it up. So obviously it's not easy.
You're imagining an H somewhere in its name that just doesn't exist.
Dave said this name right, and I was like, oh, that's how you say it. I completely forgot to say this one.
Same thing.
Jamias Ramsey.
Jamias
Ramsey, guard out of Texas Tech. Then that's going to... Fuck it. I got to go back. Because Oturu is going to the Thunder at 25. I didn't even say the teams. Oturu going at 25 to the Thunder via the Nuggets. Then you have at 26 the Jamias Ramsey going at... I can't do this if you're laughing. Jamias Ramsey going at guard to the Celtics at 26. He is playing guard. Shut up. I'm muting you so I can get through this. Then Tyler Bey, the forward from Colorado, going to the Knicks via the Clippers. Then the Raptors at 28 goes Xavier Tillman, the center from Michigan State. Then the Lakers at 29 go Aaron Nesmith, guard out of Vanderbilt. And then the Celtics via the Bucks go Alexei Pokusevsky. I'm looking at it literally. And there's my draft. Alexei Pokusevsky. Good!
Pokusevsky.
No, it's Steph. Pokusevsky. I was saying it too fast.
Pokusevsky.
Alexei Pokusevsky. Yeah, from the forward from, who gives a fuck where he's from? He's international. Jesus Christ. This is probably Sean.
You're on wheels. That doesn't work.
Sean broke in the 1.0. This is me absolutely breaking. But before we talk about any of these, I've got.
I'm trying to read out a fucking entire NBA draft, 2 rounds.
We're not
of
helping
names.
him. We're not helping him at all.
Oh, fuck you guys.
What'd you want to talk about?
So Easy had a comment earlier during our 1 through 10 that I wanted to save for this one. Because this is where it makes most sense. He said, I'd rather have a late first round pick than a middle first round in this draft. Damn, this draft sucks after maybe the top 6. Do you agree with him? If you're a team, would you rather have a pick in this category rather than the 1 through 20 because of what we've talked about in this draft?
Because I could take my guy wherever I want him. Like if you have a grade on a guy that's higher than the norm, it doesn't fucking matter. Take him where you want him.
No one will
if you
care
want
this year.
If you want to take Aaron Nesmith at 11, go take him. If you want to take Obi Toppin at 5, go and take him. This draft sucks. So it doesn't matter where you take him. Go get your guy. And if you have a higher pick and you have a guy that's typically lower around the league, you could trade down and get more value. So I don't think it's inevitable. And even if that value is a second round pick, that's okay. So
there's no consensus after that first grouping. So I think that this year's a year where you're absolutely
even
take
then,
whoever you want.
I've seen that consensus
in
screwed
5
up.
years. We'll wait and see. But out the gates, nobody can be like, that's a terrible pick. It just it doesn't exist.
And EJ said, and it's a good point where you are picked matters, though. More expectations for lottery guys.
Agree.
Yes, but also you can set the expectations. We set the expectations for Michael Porter Jr. No one was, when he was drafted, no one was expecting him to be a star. It was a shot. Where is he going to go? A little bit different because of the injuries, but Jerome Robinson, no one's calling him a bust because the Clippers are great where they are right now.
Yeah.
They didn't need him. So it all depends on where the franchise goes. If you're being drafted to be the guy, then it matters. Nobody's blaming Kobe White right now for going 7th because the team sucks. So it all depends on the expectations, yes, but it also depends on the situation.
I feel like the one team that has a different setup, though, has got to be the Celtics. They literally just don't have roster spots for their billion draft picks. They have to combine them and trade out to a different year or trade up if they really love a guy. They've got to do something. And I know we said this last year.
The name, I've just thought about it, and the name that I think I would love for the Celtics, and I think we're talking about the Celtics in this section, right?
Yeah.
So let's just talk about them here.
Well, the first thing I want to mention before that is John in Twitch mentioned that cap-strapped teams in this section are going to trade out, he thinks.
Yeah.
Okay. But with the Celtics, they got 30. They have what, 27 right there before 26. The next 26, and then they have that pick right there with the 17.
See, it's not easy to see numbers.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they package that and go get Onyeka Okongwu? If he's available at 10, go package 17, 26, and 30.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about adding 3 guys to your roster. Go get a motherfucker that can grab a rebound. Go get Onyeka Okongwu. Go get Big O, baby.
That 6'6" center Grant Williams is not enough?
No, but Onyeka Okongwu could help all of your problems. 6'9" Robert Williams, the Time Lord, isn't going to help your problems. Onyeka Okongwu, that big boy, that Big O.
He's also 6'9".
Can help your problems. So he's 6'11".
Because the only people for sure they have coming off their roster at the end of this year, Brad Wanamaker is for sure an unrestricted free agent. What?
He's 6'11".
Oh, okay.
Shoes.
So Brad Wanamaker is for sure an unrestricted free agent.
Don't question my draft knowledge, man.
They could
spent way too much time on this shit this year.
They could say no to Semi if they wanted to, but I see them taking that team option maybe. And then they have Gordon Hayward and Enes Kanter with player options. So those are the only guys, 4 possible if all of them go.
Yeah.
Probably 1 or 2, and that's if they go ahead and say no to Semi's player option.
I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on how this year finishes out for them. I think if they have a glaring weakness and they lose in the playoffs because of that, then they can obviously go to address it in the draft because they have capital everywhere.
And
so that's my thought.
They were in the Drummond sweeps. We thought they were in the Drummond sweepstakes, right?
They were potentially in Drummond. They were potentially in TT. Okay. But because they don't have any mid-level contracts, they can really happily move around.
Yeah.
They didn't have any
it was really
way
Gordon
to leverage
Hayward
it.
or
they don't want to move on from Marcus Smart. You could try to move Cantor, but
who really wanted Kanter?
That's sort of the problem. So they were in a problem with contracts.
Former 24/7 champion. Yes, Kanter. Put some respect on that name. But the whole thing with Sean saying, "Oh, they should trade these 3 picks to move up." Here's my thing, and I'm starting to get to the point, Dave, you've kind of been here. Move over. I'm joining you on this bus.
White bread, baby.
When it's basically, oh, the Celtics should make this trade. Yeah, but Danny Ainge ain't gonna. Danny Ainge is like, oh, I could have, but oh, man, they wanted this and they wanted that, and I wasn't going to give them that. It's like, no, at this point, I'm thinking, no, you're too much of a pussy to make a move. That's what I'm thinking now with Danny Ainge, where it's like, you're too scared to make a move because you want all these draft picks and you don't want to give them up for nothing. And look, now the Grizzly pick that was supposed to be a lottery pick is not a lottery pick.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't know where they could have gone exactly and gotten a player. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying at this trade deadline like they should have made a move, but like when it comes to the Celtics,
but they couldn't make a move because of the salaries.
Yeah, no, but it's kind of like the not boy who cried wolf, but it's just there's a pattern here where every time the Celtics is like, oh, they're gonna make a move. No, they're not, because Danny Ainge doesn't want. Like, I don't know if he wants to make a move sometimes.
I disagree. I disagree with that because I don't know.
This trade deadline might be different, but I don't think he makes a move on draft night because of what he's shown us.
I mean, it's just.
I mean,
he's made moves on draft night.
Last year. Yeah, I mean, they typically trade back. They did the Matisse trade back, and then they traded back for.
They trade back Ty Jerome.
I'm saying
Ty Jerome, and then they traded back for Fultz as well.
But I'm saying a move
Fultz
to
Tatum trade,
because those were all let's get assets, let's get these draft picks. I don't see them making a move.
They try to find the moves that are best for them, and while it has played out to be moving back, I don't think they would also be afraid to move up. And with this capital that they do have, I don't think it would be out of the possibility if they love somebody. If they love an Onyeka Okongwu and he's available at 10, I don't think they'd be out of the... I don't think they'd be... I think Danny Ainge is someone who is
afraid to go
conservative.
After his guy.
But once he has his guy, he will be aggressive to keep him. We saw that with Jaylen Brown. We saw that with Jason Tatum. We'll see that with whoever else comes along.
It's just, you look at their draft picks last year, Romeo Langford's not getting minutes barely at all.
But he started recently, and I think in the games that he's gotten 15 minutes or more, they're 5-0.
Interesting.
And
does that mean he's playing in blowouts?
No. Because like last night, he was super clutch down the. He's been the weird thing is he's been great defensively.
Yeah.
Like he has been incredible defensively, and he's put himself in great positions just body wise. So Romeo's been good when he's come up and played.
Yeah, Grant Williams has had his moments, but again, it's a question of like fit on the team and what the team needs, and then Carson Edwards clearly no.
Yeah.
Tremont Waters, I mean that was whatever, but like that's a late too.
And I mean,
it feels like they need to use the picks more effectively, and I know that sounds dumb to just say a lot. Like they had Matisse Thybulle. You know who's good at basketball? Matisse Thybulle. You did it to piss off.
Do you think he would have gotten playing time though?
Thybulle? Yeah. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He can guard 2 through 4.
Yeah, but would he have had a chance to show it?
But right now, I think that, and I'm not bashing Matisse, I think he's a good player, but if Romeo's showing this defensive outlook at 19, and we saw him more as an offensive player, like a Kobe Bryant guy, Kobe Bryant guy, I mean, I think that's a better pick at 14 than it is 20 of taking Matisse Thybulle.
Now they could have taken them both, is my point. Remember, they spite
I know what you're saying.
Matisse Thybulle in front of the 76ers to get more capital out of the 76ers.
I got you.
I understand.
Because they got Ty Jerome and Carson Edwards.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying now.
It feels like...
That I agree with.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to give some love to Twitch chat.
Sure.
First off, a name I haven't been able to say yet, Diddler showing back up, saying that Semi's improving his 3, that the Celtics will keep him. John agrees with one of my picks. That's why I went with the Alexei pick at the end of draft and stash. And then EJ, and I agree with EJ too here, of always an excuse for Danny Ainge, which I'm assuming he means where like I'd say, it's his fault. You got to make a move. And then Sean said, well, there wasn't a move here, so that's what I'm assuming that is for. But like, yeah, the Celtics to me need to do something. I don't think they can keep all of these picks though.
No.
Like they can't. And how many draft and stashes can you do?
Or you try to get picks next year.
I mean, here's what I'll say is, and to easy, like there is always an excuse for Danny Ainge, but also he has a ring. Like he has also made the greatest trade in NBA history, at least in the past 20 years.
High robbery.
For the Mark Hall one you're talking about?
No, that one too. But the Nets.
The Nets one.
Nets, yeah. I mean, I truly think
Yeah,
that
but that's no longer recent history. That's
is
kind of
recent.
like
I said past 20 years.
yeah, no. But I'm saying like
That's 4
I
years
feel
old?
like that was
4 years ago.
the Nets.
Like the results from that trade came up
okay.
because it's draft
Okay.
picks, and the first one of that.
Okay, but even then,
was-
like
Good point.
3 years ago, he robbed the Sixers.
yeah.
Got Jason Tatum, who's we just talked about on the
Yeah.
Fast Break podcast, possible
But to be
comeback
fair,
player of the year.
what was that? What did that other pick turn into?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember?
That would have been. Oh God, I hate the 76ers trade chain of bullshit that they went down during the process.
It's not the Grizzly pick we're looking at right now.
No, they got the Grizzly pick from I think Jay Crowder deal or some shit like that. It was something way back.
Jay Crowder. I'll look it up.
No, Jeff Green.
Jeff Green deal. Yeah, I think you're right. Jeff Green.
It was way further than the Jay
Yeah.
Crowder move.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder was in the IT move, the IT Kyrie move, but I don't think he was ever traded outside of that from Boston.
The
Because he was
trade
Dallas,
Yeah.
Boston.
Philly acquired the number
Cavs.
1 overall pick. Boston acquired the 3rd overall pick
And?
a 2018 Laker first rounder, 2 through 5, or a 2019 first round pick. So it's either were the Lakers 2 through 5 in 2018?
Oh, so it had to be Romeo.
So that was Romeo. Yeah. So basically
that'd be
they got Romeo.
Yeah.
And
because the Lakers
they
were
got the
not
better
2
player
through 5.
to begin with, and then they added on top of it a Romeo. So yeah, there's upside there, but it was are they going to get a top 5 pick
Yeah.
again? And
Yeah.
that would have been truly hurtful.
Langford was from the
Yeah.
Tatum Fultz trade.
So I mean, kudos to them. He's done great trades, like you said. It's just a question of can he take this capital this year, and do you see him trading out of this year, going international stash, or moving up? Out of those three options.
The more we've talked about
standing
it,
pat.
the more what will happen is they stand pat.
Ugh.
What will happen is they move down. What I like for them to do is now after I've talked about it and it's my idea, I'm claiming it as my idea.
Sure.
That I'm going to get Nyeko Okongwu because they haven't been able to
love
rebound.
that.
They haven't been
I
able
love
to
it.
rim protect.
Yep.
That
It's
fixes
perfect.
your problems. And if
Yeah.
you can keep Cantor, because it seems like he wants to rub his body in Celtic oil. It seems like he wants to stay there. That gives you an offensive big that can dominate, and hopefully he signs for a little bit cheaper, and then you can have Nyeko Okongwu.
And then it makes it easier, too, of we only have 1 draft pick, 1 open spot. Diddler also says the day the C's don't get in the playoffs, you can blame Ainge. So far, he's rocking.
Yeah.
So throwing out some love to Danny Ainge. Let's talk about the other team that we wanted to hit, in the Miami Heat.
Yep.
Because there was a little not controversy, but question about what they should do. I almost had them go with a point guard here, but the next
they
point
made
guard I would have on the board would have been Cassius Winston. And I was thinking at 24, is that too much of a reach? But I know what Sean said. If you like a guy, go ahead and fucking take him.
and I like Cassius there because I want somebody that can lead. I want somebody that can take charge. There's a guard that is available that I think
Who's also mature enough to play with Jimmy.
I think there's a guy that they would take. I think they would take Neesmith off your board at least. I don't think they would let him pass. I know that he probably doesn't fit a need, but also I like
You know what's better
I
than
like
shooting?
him a lot.
More shooting.
Yeah, I like him
You
a
got
lot.
Duncan
So-
Robinson. He's got shooting. You just had another great
And I don't know if Kendrick Nunn can keep this up.
Yeah.
So that gives you another backup. But I think that point guard is where they go. I love Cassius. You have Cassius going there.
Yep.
He's a leader, and that's what I like about Cassius.
Yeah,
he's
nobody's
been your
ever
guy
going to
for a
complain
while.
about his work ethic. Nobody's ever going to complain about him as a leader. He's a great guy in the locker room. He's a professional. He can go out there. He can score he can facilitate. He keeps other guys involved. He is a bench point guard in the NBA through and through, and that's exactly what they need. They just need someone out there who's dedicated to that.
I think
Because they're running with they can run with a bunch of 2s and 3s basically
I don't know
as a
where
lineup.
this
I don't know if that's legit.
I don't know where this player went, but I think he's Raymond Felton-esque. Very small guy,
Not fat
a
Raymond
leader.
Felton, early in the Raymond Felton.
Yeah, early Raymond Felton.
Okay.
I think Bobcat Raymond Felton.
Oh, wow.
I think, but I don't know where Raymond Felton went in the draft. He might have been top 5. It's either him or Ty Lawson, but I think Ty Lawson was too quick. But he just seems like a guy that you could put out there and he'll just rock it. He just seems like a guy that's very good, very consistent. He's a guy that I would absolutely love to have on a team. He could shoot from the outside. He's a very good leader. Yeah, maybe a little bit too much. I don't think he'd be averaging 15 points per game. I didn't know Raymond Felton was that fucking good.
I mean, he worked his way up to it.
Yeah, Charlotte Bobcat Raymond Felton. What was his defensive numbers? Felton.
Steals?
No, give me.
He
Let's
actually
see.
was very active.
Let me see defensive rating.
Yeah.
I think I'm underrating Raymond Felton.
It's easy to do. I mean,
Yeah, it was iffy. I mean, 103. That's great, but
that was the MKG class.
gotcha. Yeah, maybe not Raymond Felton. He could be a good bench guard.
With me, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as John. John saying that they need a stretch big, and then he said Hurt from Duke, where I went a different route, Killian Tilly.
I don't know why. Like, how can you have Killian Tilly still in your first? I got
Still in my first?
Honest
Is
question.
he like
for me.
24?
I mean,
Easily.
with me, I think that doesn't turn off the Heat, though, because the Heat want a guy that's older, who can stand up to the playoff pressure, who I think playing with Jimmy is a big thing. You don't want a kid coming in and being intimidated to play with Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is intensive. He has high expectations for this team, and like just look at what happened in Minnesota when you've got soft players. There, I'll go ahead and say it. You got soft players. He goes ahead and he just wrecks that team. The Heat don't have that. Pat Riley ain't gonna let a Heat team be a soft Miami Heat team. And Killian Tilly here is the one where I just look at where it's like he can steal. He doesn't have a lot of turnovers. His assist to turnover ratio is a good one.
I hope so as a forward.
He has that potential to shoot from the outside at the NBA level to where, I mean, also Diddler brought up a good point of let's see which Miami guards don't stand up to the playoff pressure this year, because like Kendrick Nunn's never been there. Duncan Robinson has never been there. We'll see what happens
Tyler Hero.
when they go up. Tyler Hero as a rookie.
And that's why I like Cassius for them.
Yeah, and they don't have their I want to say they don't have their second round pick, because that went to Sacramento. It was traded to Boston in the Zoran trade, then traded to Cleveland.
Zoran Dragic, Goran's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it was traded to Cleveland in the Kyrie IT trade, and then it was traded to Sacramento in the George Hill, Rodney Hood trade.
When was this traded? 2013?
So
When did it start?
When was Zoran Dragic's last minutes in the NBA?
But it turned into the second round pick this year,
Gotcha.
and it will be with the Kings.
I don't love the Killian Tilly pick because it feels like a worse Kelly Olynyk.
Okay,
He's already got a player op, I think, next year, or is that team op?
he's got player up.
Player op next year for about $13 million. And if you're going for a big, why not go for a big who can board? Like my guy, Luke Garza. I don't know.
He shoots threes.
He shoots threes. He rebounds really well.
You know who I would really
He's got
love?
good size.
Yeah, I
If
think.
and this is why I looked to see
think
if they
he's
had a
just
second round
underrated.
pick. You know who I would really love for them in the second round?
Whom?
Pritchard from Oregon.
Peyton Pritchard.
A guy who could shoot threes, who can assist, play guard for him.
If we're going forward for them or center, I would love Paul Reed on that team.
Paul Reed's actually.
But
I think-
not bad.
Are they going to be able to trade up or him fall?
Well, Dave has him.
yeah, no, but I'm
available.
just saying overall.
Yeah, I just-
like
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I
on Dave's board, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's available on my board too. No, he's not. He just went. He went like
he went
two.
to the Jazz.
He went like two things above him. I think that
Also,
he could add a
John
lot.
says he likes fucking Lewis Jr. over Winston for the Heat. The Alabama. guard.
I have Kira gone.
Kira's
Yeah, but
not
Dave and I don't,
as
I don't
polished. That's see, I did the same thing. Trey Jones go higher than I would have wanted because he's a more polished player. He fits on like that Bucks team.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, going to the Bucks. Please tell me I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, Bucks. Trey Jones. Yeah, he shoots three really well right now. He plays incredible defense. Like he's a perfect fit for that team. And I had someone like Theo Maledon fall further down, even though I like Theo as a prospect better, but he's someone who will need time, and the Bucks are competing for a fucking championship.
Yeah.
Trey Jones can come in and play that role well. So, yeah, that's my thing. With Paul Reed, I don't like the fit there because of his size. I feel like you already have an undersized guy in Bam.
Yeah.
You need to have somebody who can body guys in the low post, because that's one of the areas where they were absolutely abused by. Like Joel Embiid actually had a great outing against them because he's able to dominate that post. Like Bam plays good defense and he has active hands, but he's not able to withhold like the back downs.
I don't view him there. I view him as a 4.
Oh,
I view him as a stretch 4.
and you put Bam at the 5.
Yeah,
and then you got two guys who are 6'9".
Well, I don't know if necessarily, since he is so late, I don't necessarily know if he's a starter for you.
Okay.
So I mean that's the thing, and I don't know if he right now he's not a stretch. He's not killing
Right.
it
He's
from
just got a
three,
good
but
shot.
he's been able to shoot it before as well. He's got great outside numbers, at least shooting from the free throw line. So I think that he could turn into that, especially being on the heat of, you're going to work your ass off to be here. So I think that he could be a 4 or 5 for them coming off the bench. That's what I would view for him.
Okay.
Also, John says, don't forget that the Heat have, I'm going to say Dave's boy, KZ Okpala.
KZ.
They got KZ.
Yeah, he's a 3. He's getting a couple minutes right now. I liked him a lot last year. He's so raw. He's so damn raw. He needs more time. Put him back in.
He needs that Dion
Put him
Waiters
back in
diet.
the oven. We'll check on him a little later.
Yeah, Dion Waiters diet. That'll get you going.
What about the last team we have? The Los Angeles Lakers. 29th pick. With me, this was an easy one after you guys brought up Neesmith what do you do with LeBron? You put shooters around him. Yeah, he's an athletic shooter, but if he's the best shooter in college basketball, like Dave says, put him on the Lakers. Otherwise, I was maybe leaning more toward, originally I had Nawara here.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like,
It's just
no way
Nwora.
he falls off
Nwora.
7.
the first round, but then I did because of Neesmith. Or they could go guard because, point guard, I should say, to be specific. Because, Quinn Cook, Caruso, Rajon Rondo, are any of those guys the guy? I know Rondo's situational. He adds defense to this team, adds experience to this team.
That's the thing is Caruso should be playing more for them, but they don't because Rondo is LeBron's guy.
And there weren't there a ton of teams calling for Caruso at the trade deadline?
He's been playing. He's been effective every time he goes out there. The guy that I like for them is Trey Jones. He's still available. Pretty much the same reason you have for the Bucks. Can shoot well, can facilitate, can lead out there, and that's what they need. They need a second unit leader, and I think that he can step in. He'll be a sophomore, but I think he is very mature for his age. He's played on the big stages as well. I mean, his freshman year at Duke, they were putting him in every situation. He was playing with Zion and fucking Cam and RJ, and he was playing up with big stars. I think that he would be a very mature player to put in that second unit point guard spot.
Yeah, for me, I ended up going basically best point guard available, and that was Kira Lewis Jr. I think he, immediate fit, no, but he can score off the bench, and they desperately need to keep that bench unit afloat. So I think he'd be actually able to contribute pretty early on. I don't know if I expect the Lakers to even keep this pick.
Just trade it away.
I think you could trade it away with a player to get an established veteran, probably. It feels like that's where they're going. Has LeBron chosen who his guy in the draft will be yet? He did a shout out for Miami for was it Shabazz?
Yeah, he wanted to play with Shabazz Napier.
Yeah, and I could see Josh. I could see Kira Lewis Jr. being that guy. I could see him shouting out, watching him play.
Yeah, with me, the Lakers are a team where it's no freshman coming out of college at this point is going to impact the team. I shouldn't say no way. There's always a way.
Yeah.
But I just don't see that being what LeBron and this Laker team want.
Other thing I wanted to throw out there too, at least for them in this final thought, and we can move into the last one, and we can wrap this all up. You talked about centers. You looked at them. Looked at Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, their contract situation. Any centers in that spot that you'd like for them?
On my board at this point, no.
Okay.
I only
Lakers?
because I think that Zeke is there. I think Daniel Toro is there, and then Luke Garza was my third center or fourth center because I forgot fucking Onyeka was at the top. Fifth, goddamn James Wiseman. I keep scrolling up and finding more.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got in the first round. I've seen the case made for
Xavier Tillman, Michigan State guy. I'd go with me if he's he's a guy on my board. He's gone, but most boards have him as a early second. If the Lakers want a center there, that's who I would go
What
with.
does Tillman bring? I'm not.
He's a guy that can
I'm blanking on him
defensive, defensive guy, grabs boards. He's right now 13 points to 10 boards. But that team really runs through Cassius.
Yeah.
And he can shoot from the outside. For a center, shooting 32% from three on 2 attempts a game.
So,
the only thing that's an off for him is that he's a 21-year-old player, which LeBron may like.
Yeah.
He's an older player. He's not a younger
You know who I
player.
wouldn't take?
If you watched
Vernon Carey Jr.
Yeah, if you watched Cassius tape from last year and you remember Nick Ward, he was the more athletic player next to Nick Ward. He was the guy that looked like he was actually in shape.
Yep.
So it was Cassius, Nick Ward, and Xavier Tillman. Those were the three guys on that team.
Okay, that works then.
What about the question before we asked the question that we all asked? There was one thing. John says a guy that was Dave's boy in the 1.0. Landers Nolly from VT from Vatek.
Landers has.
That's who he likes for the Lakers.
I still like
Nolly.
Landers. I just got him on the outside looking at
His name is Landers.
Landers.
That's why it's great.
Landers a Laker.
Because Nolly is his last name is fantastic. For him, the big holdback is his shot selection at times. He gets entirely too much confidence in himself, I should say. Yeah, that still continued. I was like last year performances 6 of 15, 5 of 16, 4 of 14. Yeah. 1 of 9. Yeah, just he gets in this mode where he thinks he has to win the game for his team or they're not going to win. And it's just wrong. But the supporting cast at VT right now, it's not as good as it could be. He's trying to do too much, and I don't know. It'll take him time.
Yeah.
I think give him another year. Let him go. Or if he does decide to come out this year, which I think would be a mistake. He's a second rounder.
And then the last
Actually,
thing,
I take it back. Next year's going to be way better of a draft. Come up this year, buddy.
last thing we talk about. First thing, we got two things. Last thing, first thing. We will talk about who's a guy from this group, 21 through 30, who's in the top 20 in the 3.0.
Yeah.
Who's going on a rise?
Sadiq Bey from Villanova. We didn't talk too much about him,
Right
but
on the
he's a guy that just
Not
made.
even in my first
He's a
round.
guy that just made our mock drafts for the first time. This is our second one. He wasn't in the first ones. But yeah, I think he can rise in the top 20. Dave already had him there, right?
I had him at 21.
He's
He's just on the outside
He's a guy
looking
that
in.
could pop up. And then final one for me. I think Paul Reed can do it. I think he needs a little bit more rub. Also Zeke Naji. I think he could jump a couple of these centers. I have Vernon Carey there. I think Zeke Naji could jump over Vernon Carey.
I hate Vernon Carey.
Yeah, and that's why I think he could jump over.
Bad job.
I think Zeke Naji is not a bad job.
Yeah.
I think he could jump over.
I think for mine, I agree with Sadiq Bey. I think Theo, depending on what teams fall through, if they're looking for a veteran guard, if they can have time to develop a player, I think he definitely has the potential to go top 20. Devin Dotson, I'm finding myself reasons to put him lower, but like his pick and roll play is fucking on point, and he's an effective player. I think that there's a chance. It's just there's so many guards in this class. There's like 5 guys in my 21 through 30 who could easily be in the top 20. Like, I know you really like Precious. I think he's, a round ball of clay you got to mold and figure out, what his role will be and carve that out for him. Because he's just got athleticism right now. And yes, he's able to succeed in the small ball 5, but like, how valuable is a small ball 5 in the NBA right now?
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. Like,
Fair.
Julius Randle's great. Bobby Portis is great, but like they're not going to win you a championship. They're not going to contribute to that. So
Yeah, but these are championship teams, and I think they can possibly contribute to it. So that's why I have Precious a little bit higher.
So my guy is a possible answer to both questions.
What's the other
Who
question?
can rise? Who can fall?
We don't
So
need
who
to do
falls out of the
falls.
first? This guy could either go either way for me, although I would love for him to rise because he plays for my team, and that's Ayo Dosunmu. The reason why I think he rises is easy. Illinois is already on a good track. This year's been phenomenal so far. People in Champaign are saying that it reminds them, the vibe in the city reminds them of 04.
Yeah, and then they got their
that
asses
team.
handed to them by Maryland.
Yeah, today was not a good day. Wasn't as good as when we played Maryland in their court and should have won that game. But we're still second in the Big Ten. It's going to be phenomenal if we get top 4 in that conference and get a two round bye for the conference tourney. But the thing I worry about with Ayo, and this is where I think NBA scouts will worry, is you're the guy on this team. And the thing I've always worried is you're only averaging 15 points a game, which isn't bad. But like when you're the number 1 option, you should be scoring more. And there's games where he hits the big shot, like against Minnesota. There's games where he gets 18, 27. Like he did 18 against Wisconsin, 18 against Rutgers. The 27 game was against Michigan, in Michigan, where he hit that final shot. But then there's games to me, like Minnesota and Iowa, where it's like only 13 points, only 11 points. And other guys like Andres Feliz are having more points, having 17 points off the bench. And I know that some days
they roll with
the bench guy is going to have more points, but like it sits weird with me that you're supposed to be a guy that put the team on my back. I'm the number 1 option.
And he has. But
he has, and he can hit the final shot. but I just worry about, should I be worried about the points per game that he's only putting up 15 a game when usually your number one option puts up more than that?
I disagree.
wrong?
In college, where they score less points, 15 points per game is fine, especially when you have Trent Frazier, Kofi Coburn. I mean, this is fine. Where he's at.
Is that a guy who fell off all of our boards? Is Kofi?
Well,
Kofi
Kofi's
fell
going to
off.
stay another year.
Oh, he already said he's
I
staying?
put him on in my 1.0 because I wanted to talk about
Did
him.
he say he is staying? or-
He's only been playing basketball for 3 years.
Okay.
So he's got everything, like the size and everything. He's just got to learn the game more.
Okay.
I wouldn't be worried about it. I mean, AO around 15 is fine for a top 25 school program. This is what they do. Brad Underwood wants to get his team involved. I would not be worried about this. And every time he's been called on, he doesn't miss. He's a badass. I love this kid. He's got ice in his veins. His 3-point shot is a little bit worrying because I don't know if he gets the best of looks, but then also he's not consistent enough. But then again, his free throw shot looks good enough, and he's around 80%. And I think he's got a great looking stroke. So I think AO's fine.
Yeah.
I just the thing.
I think the thing that people
I've
worry
not
about
come
is the
around
fact
to
that he's not super explosive,
Yeah.
and that he isn't a great shooter that is consistent enough. But
And
he's great at driving.
He's not a pure court general either.
Yeah, because
Like he has games where he goes off, but like for the most part, he's not forcing the offense in one direction.
They play a style of offense that is a lot of like 8 to 7 touches in one
Everybody's
possession.
moving.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
So that should do it. I forgot we're not going to do the who falls out of this, but that's
Patrick
gonna do it.
Williams from Florida State, because he's my
Give him a
30th.
shout out.
That is going to do it for the Primetime
The shout out
Podcast.
to Fallout, yes.
If you listened or stayed for the entire time,
6
thank you.
hours.
Thank you. No, not even Twitch. This is the podcast in
Okay.
itself right now. If you stayed the entire mock draft, bless your heart. God bless you.
Yeah.
Because this has been a long... the podcasts are usually long for mock drafts, but we love doing them. If you stayed all 6 hours on Twitch, fast break before this, Primetime
fucking
Podcast
champ.
now. We love you. You're the real MVP for us. We can't do what we do. And let's thank our patrons right now at
let's
the
click that
end
button.
of the podcast. If you want to become a patron like Rob Vick says he's going to be when he gets back to, he said Reno is where he's from. So visiting Dominican Republic, he'll be a new patron on this list. Tim will be added to it. If you want to be a patron, patreon.com/mostofallpodcast. If you're watching or listening on YouTube or any podcast services where you listen to podcasts, you can watch us on Twitch live, twitch.tv/mostvaluablepodcast. We're doing this for all our podcasts. Also, we're streaming games too. There's nights where I'm like, I'm going to play some WoW. Jump on some Twitch. You can chill with me, talk Demon King, talk WWE with me. So we're doing a lot here. So if you're on YouTube, follow us on Twitch as well. And if you're on Twitch and don't follow our YouTube, go ahead and sub to us on YouTube as well. It's been a great podcast. Dave and Sean, love doing this with you guys. Our next one is in March sometime, I think. I'll go ahead and tweet out Most Valuable Pod the next time we're doing a mock draft. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.